You just can't miss the Envy McKee Show.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won. Chop, chop, chop.
The Envy McKee Show, exclusively on Word.
Chop, chop, chop.
Welcome, Black. The Envy McKee Show right here on WRD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Of course, this is Starfolk University, the onliest on-air school for modern mystics, broadcasting live from Octavia E. Butler Hall. Our ship prompt for the month of March is the art of being known. Known is standing for kind, notably overstanding, wisdom's nature. And in the Woo Metaphysical Studio with me, we have DJ Frosty Phoenix on the ones and twos, our Dean of Fellowship and Change, Jen Bragg Jones, our Dean of Heartful Entrepreneurship, and Mayette Ajay Ib, our Dean of Understanding and Life Skills. And now, she's in Virginia, but she's from North Kakalaka. Joining us in the Woo Metaphysical Studio, we have the Boomy Moses, our Dean of Brilliance, Luminosity, and Shamanic Arts. And Boom Boom. Hey.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, girl. This conversation. Woo!
I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. So, I am so grateful for my friends. I have the dopest friends in the world. And it's like being able to do this show for the last 5 years, and just the group of just brilliant people from all industry that come together on Friday nights to have these conversations. It's so powerful and it's so humbling. I'm just yo, I know y'all. You know what I mean? I know y'all, and I get to do this work with y'all, and it's just so dope. So, talking about Amanda Seales, I didn't think we were going to do the whole show on Amanda, but it's not really about Amanda. It's about the lens that we view her. And I recognize that she can be polarizing, which is related to something that Jen said behind the scenes, is because, and related to something we talked about, Mayette, the house Negro, field Negro thing. It's what I want to say about that is we all recognize that this world, and the world is different than the planet, this world that we live in, this coagulation of ideas, this coagulation of the technology of whiteness, this coagulation of the technology of blackness, the coagulation of all these different ways that this country was founded and built this world, this matrix, this setup, the systems, the white supremacy, the terror, the fear. We'll call all of it, the coagulation of all of it, the agreements and our conversations about the agreements, we'll call that Massa's house. Because we no longer are technically on a plantation. The whole thing is a plantation. We're no longer, there's no, different houses with the Greek revival situation. The whole thing, the whole coagulation of the system that we live in, the world, that's what we call the world, that's Massa's house, right? And the thing about Massa's house is that regardless of who's in the house or who's in the field, the thing that holds it together is the white gaze. Because we're all, and it was something that Jen said behind the scenes, but it clicks for me. And I recognize something in myself, because there's this anxiety that you walk with.
Mm-hmm.
Are the white people going to be crazy today? Are the white people going to do something nuts today? Are the white people? And we recognize that everybody who is of European descent is not what we're talking about white people.
There's white people and people who happen to be white.
That's right. And when we say the white people, please understand that we understand who we're talking about. But if you feel like we're talking about you, then it's you. Okay, we'll just So saying all of that, that anxiety that we walk with, because we don't want no trouble. Everybody really just wants to live their best lives. Everybody really just wants their kids to be okay. They want their families to be okay. They just want to be able to live a meaningful, productive life in the way in which makes the most sense and gives the most joy and value for them. It don't have nothing to do with the job. It don't have nothing to do, you know what I mean? It doesn't, whatever Instagram is telling you or TikTok is not it. Like, people really just want to live their lives and do it in a meaningful way. They want to matter. They want to connect. They want community, and I'm not speaking for everyone. I am speaking for myself, but from the thousands of people that I interacted with over my lifetime, that's the general consensus that I get. Even from the underpinnings of what we talk about in these shows, people just want to live their lives. And what I think, just talking about Amanda Seales in this conversation has solidified for me, is that the white gaze is the glue that causes us to turn on our sister, a national treasure, or to not include her, or to not embrace her in a way that she absolutely 1,000% deserves, regardless of whether she's coupled, regardless of whether she's likable, you know what I mean? Like, she is a national treasure. And the fact that, and we started to talk about crabs in a barrel, but then we went to break and then something else happened. But the whole crabs in the barrel thing that I started to say was, when I see people like the blood in the water people that look for these elevated beings to fall from their so-called platforms, they look like they are looking for it. They're almost excited about it. And I said, it definitely is a crabs in the barrel. Jen came in behind the scenes and she's like, but crabs, the barrel is not the natural habitat of crabs. And the next part of what I was going to say, which is 1,000% true, is this Massa's house is not where we originate from. So we were brought here and put in this barrel, and we learned how to exist in this barrel, this Massa's house barrel, from our oppressors, from the colonizers. So I'm not blaming Black people for wanting to survive. We love to talk about some Uncle Ruckus, or not Uncle Ruckus, or Uncle Tom, even though Uncle Tom really wasn't the bad guy in the story, by the way. But what was the environment that created that? That's a survival strategy. It is a reptilian brain, I gotta live strategy. And you, good sister, being out here, airing our dirty laundry, telling folk about themselves, rustling feathers, dipping over the apple cart, doing all the things, is not helping me. Well, it is, but it's making me feel uncomfortable and unsafe. One, because I can't do what you're doing. And two, because I got this real comfortable life that I just want to live. And why you out here starting revolutions that she's not actually starting? Do you get what I mean? So it's like, I get it. But the revolution, in the words of Toussaint Louverture, I really don't have any words from Toussaint Louverture. I don't. He's like, you're about to start speaking French? I don't have it. But my point being is that regardless of whether Amanda Seales, stays where she is, moves on, leaves the industry, whatever it is, I truly believe that when the time comes, 10, 20 years from now, we are going to remember her in a completely different way than we are in this moment. Because right now, she's forcing us as a collective to get clear and stand on principle that a lot of us are unwilling to do.
Mm-hmm.
What says you?
There's also this mentality of, if you do that, then now I got to go do something. And I don't want to go and do something. Either A, I don't know what to do, or B, I know what to do and I'm afraid to do that.
Accountability?
Yeah. And there's so many people that don't want to be held accountable. They want to, have their conversations and have their opinions and in their small little world do these things or move forward. But when it comes to the masses, they don't want to be involved in that. And when you have the people who are like, oh, bring her down, or they're happy to see her fall, or anyone for that matter, those people are, I feel like they the descendants of the ones that told Massa that the slaves ran away, right? Everybody got descendants.
Buy it. But she listen.
Right? They's running, sir. I knows when they
survival strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
When you spoke on, we were brought here, Envy, you said we were brought, this is not our natural habitat. It's not. And it's not that we were brought from different forms of this land. We are subconsciously trying to get back to a space in which we came, that we are all nothing but light. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get back to that space. And so when we're in this matrix you talked about, we're in this world, we have to find something to entertain our little silly little flesh. And so we get in these types of situations to where we're not from here. We recognize something is different. Sure, we're physically in this space, and not all of us came from over in Africa. I'm an Aborigine. I was here when you got here, bruh. I was here already. My people were here already. And I have that proven. Everybody's not from across the waters, but it doesn't really matter what landmass you're from. What matters is who you are as a soul. And so if you are the descendant of those that was in Massa's house, then you still have a choice. But you don't want to break away from that because there is too much cushiness for you. It is too hard to look at something and someone else said, take accountability. It's too hard for you to take accountability because that means you have to look at yourself. And that means you have to see, how am I showing up in the world? How am I contributing to this mess with either action or no action? How are my thoughts, my words, and my deeds affecting everything that's around me? And I don't even realize it. Do I have to do something? You don't have to do anything. It is your choice. But in essence, you are doing something whether you realize it or not, because you are being puppeted. And you are being pulled, your strings are being pulled, and you're reacting to, the touching some specific forms of stimuli within who you are. And you're reacting. They're able to, dog and pony show. So I just want you to dance for me. So I'm going to turn you guys, because it's entertainment. And then it keeps it keeps you distracted. This type of stuff keeps you distracted from what's really important.
Girl.
Well, what's important really too is Amanda's free.
Mm-hmm.
Very free. Right? She outside running in the fields. Good.
She's free.
But the question I have is, I wonder why and she has every right to want to be, but to unpack why she might want to be in the spaces that she's working with these people. Why am I not invited to that function? And why are you all so afraid to have me there when I just speak truth? Like we were talking about having that friend you warn people about. There's the weird one, and then there's the one say, although that person, when they come to the party, they be talking truth and be making you think, when we just want to act a fool and not think about life.
You act like you can't invite her to Black Girls Rock and do a poem because she's done that. She's done poems. You act like she's not an actress. You act like she's not a comedian. Like, I'm not saying you act like, but it's like I don't see it. The only thing that makes sense for me is that whoever is over them,
is saying no.
The Black Rock and the whoever else is the one that's saying,
that's that whoever that person in like high school or even adult life, when people don't invite you certain things, and eventually you just say, "Oh, I'm just I'm just too strong. I'm just too this to
I
even worry about
personally,
going to those spaces. I'm not saying she's not that's fair that she should also be there.
Right.
But like we talked about, like
But do you really want to be?
Yeah,
do you want to be there?
Yeah,
You know,
she does. Let me say this.
What I'm saying is, do you really want to be there in a space where people are like that?
No.
Well, but so one of my gifts is the gift of perspective. And so I can see Amanda's perspective also. I've done all these things. I've risen to all these levels. This is the trophy. This is the
wants accolade.
This is the celebration. I want to be a part of celebration. This is the audience is my peers. Well, everyone gets to go but me. I want to wear a dress too.
Yeah,
I might show up on Instagram with my hair undone, but you should see how I clean up. I'm beautiful. I know how to conduct myself. On my platform, I may, be yelling, screaming, hollering the truth, but here I'm going to walk the red carpet and take my pictures and hug and kiss and do the two cheeks. I know how to conduct myself. Give me an opportunity. I can see her perspective also. And while they're saying we don't want you, she's still saying, but why not? I did these things.
What's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me? And so I can see both perspectives of the people that are like, well, why would you even want to be there when they don't want you? Because it's not even about them. It's all the people who are there who want me there, because we were all talking about what you're going to wear. Here's what I was going to wear, but I never got my invite.
So you're friends with the people that got into the party, but the leader of the party won't let you in. So the friends that want you there are inside talking about some. Sorry. See, when we come out later, I'll call you.
To me, that is more a reflection on us than it is on her. It's more a reflection on these institutions than it is on her. It's more a reflection of the politics and the policy that we allow to dictate. It's a reflection of the white gaze.
We're allowing it.
Huh?
We're allowing it.
We're allowing it. We're allowing it. We're allowing it. We're selling her out. For what? Because we're not getting that bag.
And then people wonder why oh, go ahead, Boomy.
Go ahead, Eric. Say what you're gonna say. Boomy's gonna get in there. I'm just trying to give her her double. I'm just turning the thing. I want her to jump in.
I was just saying, I wonder why some people that I've spoken to wonder why terms like even for me in contention, like the term blurred, why that was creating spaces for yourself, or why Black anything award shows, events, things like that are created so you can, if you're not invited to that thing, then the other side of it is that you create that thing and then you invite the people you want to invite. There's that side of it
we're
too.
Doing to her what the white folks do to us. What says you, Boomy?
So I don't watch the news. I'm just catching everything that you're saying here, and I'm still not clear as to what's happening.
Have you ever been in a situation where we've worked at something, you've worked hard at something, and the people in wherever you worked might, like you or show you that they like you indoors or in the office, but then you leave, and they might not call you outside, they might not write you, they might not do anything like that outside of work. When you find out that there was a party that was put on, the people that you were friends with at work mention or talk about it around you that they were invited and you weren't, and you only heard it because you happened to walk by someone's cubicle that day to hear about this party. Even though you do great work and everybody likes you, but you're not invited. Should you feel like you should attend and say, well, that's fine, I won't attend? Or you wonder, well, why don't you? Like, I don't understand that. And then Amanda Seals is in that position.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, that has happened to me on occasion. And my response after I digest that, the twinge that it causes.
Because you're human.
Yes, absolutely. Is, oh, their loss. I wasn't meant to be there, because I recognize that they play on a different level and vibrate on a different level.
Oh my God, yes.
So I just.
So you just want to stand on spiritual principle on a spiritual principle show. Is that what we're going to do?
That happens. It happened to me. Yeah. Yeah. So that was my thought as they continue to talk about it. I didn't feed into it. I was very happy for all of them and for the event that they had. And yeah, I just recognize internally I vibrate on a different level. So my consciousness is not at the level as at theirs, and I didn't need to be around that or in at all.
Give me Amanda's number. We need to make a phone call. Tell Amanda you good, sis.
This is big. This is big,
Yeah.
Boomy, because this is going to help us cap up this conversation when we come back from break. This is really big, Boomy, because at some point we have to talk about what happens when you level up. Like in consciousness, like when you level up in consciousness, a lot of times you want to play in the spaces from before, but you can't go back. So that means we got to create a space.
What did Eric say? Eric said it.
This is the Envy McKee Show right here on WRD. Progressive Black Talk Media will be what, Boomy?
Black like Portier.
Yes. Portier Black.
Have you always wanted to learn an interdimensional language but not sure where to begin? Those basic language apps not offering the languages you really want to learn? Good news! Now there's Staretta Stone, offering languages like Tuastai and the Elders language taught by native speakers so you and your friends can blurt out and up-level your vibrational frequency at the same time. For more information, read The Stellar Trilogy by Envy McKee, available at envymckee.com and wherever books are sold like Amazon. And tune into the Envy McKee Show, Friday nights 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 900 AM, 96.1 FM WURD, and worldwide on WURDradio.com and the Word app. Join the involution.
Welcome back to the Envy McKee Show right here on WRD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Yes, this, of course, is Starfolk University, the onlyest on-air school for modern mystics. And our shift prompt for the month of March is the art of being known, all caps. Known is standing for kind. Period. It's like kind, full stop. Kind. Notably, overstanding wisdom's nature. We have in the Woo Metaphysical Studio, Mayette Ajay Ib, our Dean of Understanding and Life Skills, Jen Bragg Jones, our Dean of Heartful Entrepreneurship, DJ Frosty Phoenix on the ones and twos, our Dean of Fellowship and Change, and Boomy Moses, our Dean of Brilliance, Luminosity, and the Shamanic Arts. And I just realized that Boomy been in this conversation, like she got here, and I didn't even ask her how she doing. How you doing, Boomy?
Good. I'm good. How are you? How's everybody?
We're
Wonderful.
Yeah. Good to be here. Great seeing you all.
It's good to have you here. And this conversation is just so brilliant. Like, it's so brilliant. Maya, you were saying something about, but I want to make sure I say this point. So we were talking, before the break, we were talking about how, and Boomy, the spiritual practitioner that she is, brought into the field that when you're not invited places, maybe those places aren't where you're supposed to be going. And that's also a part of the spiritual journey. It's like you start out in a place with all your friends and you're like, hey, like Freaknik. I never went to Freaknik, but I understand how some people went. I'm not saying it. I never went. I was not allowed.
That's the road trip.
I wasn't allowed to go. And I don't know how my dad managed that because I was in whole college. Like, how was he going to keep me from going someplace I wanted to go? But I just never went. But anyway, so what's interesting is we level up. And we're not talking about, like, the way we talk about level up in the world and the surface world is you got your paper up. But when you level up in consciousness, the party, you might want to go to the party, but you have evolved past the party, whatever party that is. It doesn't mean you can't make a new party. It doesn't mean, like, and maybe that's the work, the next part of it, creating spaces that for up-leveled, and I just got an idea. Creating spaces for up-leveled consciousness. We need to do like we need to create that. You know how they have all the you need to create like a star award. You know what I mean? And it sucks because you want to go where all your friends are. You want to go where all your peers are. You want to be honored in the ways that other of your peers are being honored. And yet, when you're doing the soothsayer work, I'm not going to say you're above or below, but you know what I mean? Like, and you might want to be there, but if you're not invited, that's not what's for you can't miss you.
Yeah.
You no longer can understand the language that's being spoken.
Or they
You
can't
remember the
understand
language. Yeah,
yours.
you
They
remember
can't
the language.
understand yours.
No, you don't understand theirs either. You don't understand theirs because you remember the language. It sounds familiar
Right.
because you've rested in that frequency. But when you are in a different frequency, you still know it, but you don't understand it. It's gone. It's gone from your level of awareness. It's a part of who you are. You have integrated with it. So there's no need to want to focus on it. So creating, as Eric was saying, creating something of your own, you can do that. You can do that. But once you realize that you have moved and elevated and evolved into a different space in your life, you have tuned into a frequency in your life, you're not affected by those people. Just as Sister Bummy was saying, you're not affected by those people because this is not, I can see you. I've stepped outside of myself and I am in a space of being the watcher, and I am not affected by anything that anybody is doing because I'm just watching things play out. I don't have to be attached to a situation in order to be able to see it happen and unfold. I don't have to be, yes, I may have done the work. Yes, I may have, but am I doing the work so that I can be recognized, or am I doing the work because this is a part of my journey for me to grow? Am I doing the work because I have to be noted, because that is a part of programming as well. I have to be noticed. I'm doing this work. Hey, look at me. You recognize I worked hard. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, if it gets you off of your square, then where are you really?
Yeah.
None of those people can validate anyone either.
That's it.
Nobody, like no one in those rooms could ever validate any one of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're our own validation.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're alive, because we were born, that's enough validation right there.
Mm-hmm.
If the award was the validation, there would be no speech. If just receiving the award was the validation, they wouldn't ask me to say a few words. The award is not the validation. It's the few words. And the words that I say beyond that award is the validation. It is the people who have helped me get here. It's the people I want to thank. It is my own network of people who love me and support me and understand me, and or even the ones that don't understand, but they get it, right? I might not always know where you're going, but I know if I follow you, I'm going to end up in the promised land. If the words are the part that validate, not the award. And I think the sooner that Amanda understands that portion, she might not feel so left out. That feeling of being left out, that's the human portion, right? No matter how far you grow and evolve, there's always going to be that part of you that still taps back in, that has to be reminded, no. You don't go back. We worked really, really hard to get away from that. And to your point, you don't speak that language anymore. You've learned a new language. You don't talk like that. You don't think like that. You don't move like that. You don't act like that. You move, act, think like this. And the last thing I want to say about that is I don't ever believe that anyone is above or below anyone, but I do believe that there are people who are beyond.
Beyond.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
No, that was perfect, because I was looking for the word, and
you're beyond, right? I'm not above you. I'm not
below you. I'm beyond.
I'm beyond, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we say it too, like, oh no, I don't hang out at the club anymore. I'm beyond that, right? So
I love
it's
that.
not that I didn't hang out at the club. I used to throw the parties at the club. I respect the club.
Yeah, I was the party, okay?
But I'm beyond the club.
There you
Beyond
go.
the club.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't stop. Come on.
I was leaving space.
She had landed her plane.
I did.
That's the worst part when everybody agrees on the whole thought, and it's kind of like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but what do you want to say, Eric? No, that's
no. When you when you are in spaces that make you feel uncomfortable, not because the spaces they make you feel uncomfortable because you've grown out of them. To bring it
You've
bring it around to
outgrown
what
them.
people say
Yep.
that
Yep.
you've
That's
outgrown
another way.
them. You know, like you don't want to be there. You know your girlfriend or your guy friend, they say, "Come on out tonight." You go out there, you feel all the way uncomfortable. Is it you're old? Maybe is it you're too grown? Maybe whatever. That's just not your space anymore, and it is what it is. You know, or you
There's also something to be said about being an independent artist. So a lot, like we can talk about Black Hollywood and recognize that Black Hollywood is not that different from regular Hollywood. It's just different. There's more melanin in the faces. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, like, even calling out the toxic nature of all of these spaces, which, like I said, it's just brown face. It's just brown face. And she's an independent artist, and she has been able, that's the other thing that makes her so dope. She's been able to navigate being an independent artist and at the same time still working with the bigger networks. Like it's unheard of.
Unheard of.
Like
She's
I can't,
breaking the molds.
like she's really creating her own, she really created her own lane. And I so respect that. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking of all the ways, like, what can we do? And this is, the intuit, Jen, you know how my brain would, Eric does too. Like, I'm sitting here going, okay, award show.
Right.
Going, like, there's something to be said about being free in a space where everybody else is not, where they are dependent on them checks, where they are dependent on these studios
An
greenlighting their
endorsement.
things. They're dependent, like that's how they're paying their bills. And I get it. You don't, the saying is, you're not supposed to, what is it, bite the hand that feeds you?
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Mm-hmm.
Or
watch the toes you step on. They might be connected to the booty you got to kiss later.
the only reason why, just ride with me here, the only reason why we're in a situation like that is because we don't have our own.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have, I almost cussed. I'm just glad that I said it so low in my soul that I didn't have to. But we don't have our own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have Tyler Perry. We have Ava DuVernay. We have Devon Franklin. But those are like, Devon Franklin is gospel. Tyler Perry, I don't know what he does right now. And we have, like, I don't know what that's called. But we all, and it's not, that's not shade, by the way.
The fact is, you can name them.
There's three. And we have Ava DuVernay, who really is just focuses on political. And if you want to, produce larger scale projects, I'm going to say larger budgeted projects, not larger scale, larger budgeted projects, you are dependent and beholden on this list of white
Conglomerates.
That's better. Because it's really not about white or black. You're beholden to people who decide the fate of your creative pursuit. And we don't have our own stuff. And that's like this.
We have gotten to a place where we've got a voice at the table, right? We've gotten to a place where even in these large conglomerates, we're starting to see sprinkles of diversity, sprinkles of people at the table, and all of the aspects of diversity, right? Not just color. But we are starting to see that. The difference is, as you're naming these things, if we're talking about all of the conglomerates, we have to give one name because there's so many. But when you talk about the black people, you can name them. This one, that one, this one, and that one, right? The fact that we're still able to name them shows how much work we have to do. And Amanda is the one who's out there starting the work, doing the work, saying the quiet part out loud, putting herself out there on Front Street, taking the beating for all of us. And to your point, Envy, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, this is not the lens we're going to be looking at her at. We're going to say she was a pioneer, she was a warrior, she was brave, she was breaking through the glass ceiling, she was, not just marching to the beat of her own drummer. She made her own beat. She had a whole band behind her. She handpicked she did all of the things, and she's doing it herself, and then she's being ridiculed by the others because it's making them have to look inward and say, well, I wouldn't do that. And it's not that you wouldn't, it's that you couldn't.
Or that you won't.
Or you won't.
Because that's really what it is.
Right.
I won't. It's too much work. I want to luxuriate. I want a Kim Kardashian life, or whatever the case is.
I want to stay in the
Hard too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Kim's over there working hard too.
Yeah, my wife and I were talking about that and really looking at how people, just because they see the fruits of the labor of the Kardashians, that you have to really think about how they were able to get to that level, and it's not just off of people believing it's some superficial thing. Because if that's how they did it, then there'd be a lot of Kardashians out here if they did exactly what people think they did. It's particular work.
They did.
They don't show you how they make the sausage. They just show you the sausage.
Right. People just think that they just were in the right places.
That's why I'm a That's why I'm a vegan.
But the belief is that they probably just were like dated the right people, were just in the right spaces, and just basically just were there, and they're just famous just because.
And that could be
Period.
how it started, but that's not how they ended up here, right? And you don't have a cosmetic line without having done the work. I own a cosmetic company. It's not easy, right? There are so many nuances that go to where you start from an idea of what you want to bring to the public. There's a litany of things that happen in between, and that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't discount the work that they do, and that's only just one business of one sister, right? There's so many things that happen that are actual work, and it doesn't matter how you got started or how you got known or how you got your foot in the door. You got your foot in the door. Do I subscribe to the Kardashians? Do I watch their show? No. Do I follow them? No. But I know who they are. Do I have respect for these women and this mom that brought her entire family to this mogul status? Absolutely. Full respect for that. For what, not how.
Mm.
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 Yeah.
This is interesting. It's very interesting, and it's a great place to put a pin in it. Because now we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we'll go around the room and find out what we learned, if anything. This is the Envy McKee Show right here on WRD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We'll be what, Jordan?
Oh, right, black.
Are you a star person suffering from where do I really fit in this world displacement disorder, or WDRFIT for short? If you or someone you know is suffering from trying to fit into a world you were born to help evolve, but forgot, and so you did other stuff, you may be eligible to take part in a Star People Realignment Program, sponsored by the Wake Up the Star People of Earth Omniversal Alliance. For more information, read The Stellar Trilogy by Envy McKee, available at envymckee.com or wherever books are sold, like Amazon, and tune into The Envy McKee Show, Friday nights, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on wordradio.com and the Word app. Join the Envolution.
Envy's evolution is the Envy McKee Show.
Hey, with Philly's own Kindred, the family soul.
Hey, what's up? This is Kevin Carr.
Hey, this is Lady Alma.
This is Greg.
And Halana.
And we are the Woke Bays.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Genuine right here on the Envy McKee Show. Now, always stay tuned.
Join the Envolution exclusively on Word.
I do follow.
Welcome back to the Envy McKee Show. Right here on WRD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Of course, this is Starfolk University, the onlyest on-air school for modern mystics. And our shift prompt for the month of March is the art of being known. Known as standing for kind, notably overstanding wisdom's nature. And this is the part of the show where we go around the room and find out what we've learned, if anything. And once you are finished telling us what you've learned, you can also tell us how we can reach you. Who would like to go first? Jordan? It's never not you. It's never not you.
It's not. Well, the last time you made me go last, actually.
I don't think that was on purpose.
It's never the same, dog. It's never the same. It's never the same.
Oh man. Basically, nothing don't work besides work. Because I mean, like, basically, because like you got like, I mean, like you got like celebrities like like basketball players, Kardashians, like you guys said, like who just like have all this money, got all this fame and stuff like that. But it seems like it's all easy and stuff like that until like you try to work for it. But then like you go like, oh man, this is way too much work. I don't think I can do this. So yeah, nothing works but work.
Mm-hmm. Who's next?
I like that.
What about you, Boomy?
I learned that I missed a lot this weekend. And I should probably tap in every now and again.
Every now and again.
Every once in a while.
Tap you in. Tap you in. What about you, Eric?
Mainly that accepting where you are in life. Like the video I played for you guys during the break. Anybody can get it, no, but just the idea of accepting where you are in life and then others' journey is their journey. You can't really change anyone and change their opinions. It's up to them to make those changes and necessary. So you can't argue with them on social media if you want, like I know my sister Envy has on occasion, and I turned it to a whole segment one time. We won't go there.
What is it? Facebook?
Facebook theater.
Facebook theater. Facebook comment theater or something. We did.
Facebook comment theater. But you can do that, and you get your thoughts out with those people online if you want to, and then but like you also Envy, you say you realize, I'm above this conversation, and then you leave. You can leave. You can do what you want to do. Yeah, just overall acceptance of where you are in life and where others are, and if you want to be in those spaces or what you want to fight for is up to you.
Yeah. What about you, Jen?
So if I surmise the entire conversation, and I've been here since the beginning, I would say that be committed to being submitted to your purpose.
Oh, yes, Mayette's submission to the purpose, man. What? Y'all didn't hear that. She gonna come back with it. Go ahead.
But that was my key takeaway. Be 100% committed to being submitted to your purpose. Everything else will play out.
What about you, Mayette?
Oh, wow. This has been a refreshing adventure, shall I say, because it's been a while since I've been out. And when I say that, it's purposefully driven because I've learned that I am grateful for every area of my life that I'm in, regardless to what it is. Today I learned what stuck with me the most is being submissive is who I am. And it is not, and it is in all areas of my life. Let me just say that. And that when I am submissive unto a higher power that is greater than myself, that governs, that I allow to release myself to govern, and it led me back to this space that is a form of home for me. In that respecting others, even though, as Sister Bummy says, you're no longer in those spaces. But that doesn't mean you cannot communicate. That doesn't mean you cannot be a part of a frequency that you recall. Doesn't mean that you can't be a part of it because it's already a part of you. So enjoying the various frequencies within this space is a beautiful thing. It just feels like I've come home. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it
does.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Envy?
Well, the biggest takeaway from this that I got is we need our own stuff. Like we need our own stuff. And the more star people that awakened, I feel like this is going to be a larger conversation. Like we may not still be welcome. Because, being an independent, conscious media, whatever it is, being independent, being free, why you want to be traipsing out in the plantation when you don't have to? And this idea that there are only those spaces are the only spaces that there can be. And just like those spaces started from lack of being invited to other spaces, the new spaces can be created for those spaces that we are no longer welcome. Do you get what I mean? It's like we don't have this conversation has opened up so much for me. But the biggest thing is we need our own stuff. But I also I love when Mayette said, and she may not have said it on the air, but she said, Amanda Seales submitted to her purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And submission is a strength. Never heard that before. But I'm going to have to revisit that in my soul. Gratefully, I don't have that same energy I used to have when people used to say the S word around me. Don't have that same energy now because it used to be the S word. Like, say it. I dare you.
Triple dog, double dare you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm good now. But I want to revisit that. I love this submission to this higher power. And I love that we were able, this is a testament to the caliber of human that Amanda Seales is. I wanted this conversation to be not quite we're giving her flowers kind of thing, but I wanted to really unpack this, and I feel like we did. We talked about Amanda Seales this entire show, and the conversation was not stale, stagnant, or stuck. It was a breath, as Mayette said. It was we started from the bottom, and now we here. We ended up in this beautiful place where we recognize we need our own stuff. We need our own Star People stuff, where we recognize the people who are activated and demonstrating the frequency of what it means to build and birth a kind and just society that works for everyone. Because the master's house and then the sub-master's house, they don't want us to have our own stuff. They want us to stay complacent. And the more we activate, we're gonna have a party, Amanda. We're gonna have a party, and you're gonna be our very first honoree. I don't know how or when or why yet. I just know that is the charge. You are going to be our very first honoree, and we're gonna make sure everybody is dressed to the 12s, and everybody does the whole thing. It's gonna be fabulous. And Eric already know, and I know Jen know. If it comes through, it's happening. So. The Star People Awards.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So are we complete? Everybody complete? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Star People. That is class. Thank you to all of you for being present. If you learned something powerful here, do not keep it to yourself. Tell folk about this show, honey. And next week, bring 3 friends. The world is held together by our agreements and our conversations about those agreements. If you want to live in a different world, we have to talk about things differently. As Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith is known to say, the second coming is community. Thank you to our guest stars, Boomy Moses, DJ Frosty Phoenix, Jen Bragg Jones, Mayette Ajay Ib. Of course, thank you, Jordan. It is no show without you. Thank you for being present. Woo is best done together. And don't forget, go to envymckeeshow.com, sign up for the Stars Notes. You can get the Stars Notes right before class, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And then also you can pre-order the Stellar Trilogy Book 4. Is actually the Stellar Universe. Book 4, Deep Roots, okay? And Freedom Sounds of Jazz is up next. Levine Heil, Star People.
Levine Osho, Envy.
See you next week.
You just can't miss the Envy McKee Show.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won. Chop, chop, chop.
The Envy McKee Show, exclusively on Word.
Chop, chop, chop.